So right now I'm checking Horde intel. I don't know where that Cinnable fleet is, but they are probably still in system considering how many gray neutrals I see in local. So, to be as safe as I can be, I don't want to warp directly to the gate. So again, we're going to warp to the Fortizar that sits just outside of the gate. We could also potentially choose to warp to a bookmark if we wanted. But there's always a chance that when we warp to a bookmark, the enemy fleet might not be directly on the gate, but they might be close to our bookmark. And we're very slow to align ships, so there's a higher chance of them being able to travel towards us during that time and actually be able to get us before we finish warping. So there's a few things that we want to think about. If an enemy is on a gate that we want to jump through, there's a few mechanics you can use to your advantage. So the first mechanic is, once a player targets you and uses an aggression module on you, suddenly they have red boxed you, or they've aggressed you, and they get a timer and they cannot jump a Stargate for a minute. So if you land at a gate, as long as you're within 2,500 meters, you can jump through. If you see an enemy there, quite often it's a good idea to just sit there and not jump, hoping that he will red box you so you can jump through without him actually attacking you. And so if he red boxes, you can safely jump through, and then you're safe from him for a minute. Now if he doesn't want to red box you, another option you have is you can start aligning yourself out towards somewhere else you want to go. Once you've hit 75% of your maximum speed on your speed bar on the bottom, you will instantly enter warp if you're aligned. So you start aligning towards a distance object to warp to, or somewhere safe, and then once you hit 75% speed, if he still hasn't red boxed you, you can just warp and you hit the warp key and you'll enter warp immediately, and you shouldn't leave the jump range of the gate if you do it correctly. So that's just a little bit of advanced strategy, but it is okay. So I just see a malediction popped out onto that gate, so of course I don't know what's on the other side, so I'm kind of like, oh, I don't want to take us there yet because it could potentially be dangerous. It looks like the enemy fleet actually, I wonder if they're going to come back. Of course, the other thing you can do too is you can be using your directional scanner whenever you jump into a new system to see if there's enemies nearby or on gates that are within range. So 7RM does have a jump bridge. If everybody right-clicks in space, under Corporation Locations, you'll also see Jump Bridge listed, and that jump bridge will take you one jump from low security space. The nice thing about traveling through low security space is there are no bubbles, so you don't ever have to get caught in a bubble. So that's the advantage of having a jump bridge to skip all of the null security space jumps on your way into low security space. Makes it safer. Can I get our buddy in the Atron, David? Do you have a mic? David? Okay. How about you in the Merlin? I don't know how to pronounce your name. No, you're muted right now. Okay.
Hello.
Ah, okay, yes. Could I get you to jump through into FTech N and let me know what's on the other side of that gate to know if it's safe for us?
Sure, but
Sure, but what?
which system again? Sorry.
So right now you're with us. Ooh,
Oh,
it's not safe.
Nope, jump out.
nope.
So you haven't moved, so
Back
you're
to
good.
Beanstar.
Nope, nope, we're fine. We're totally fine being tethered here right now. So the only way somebody can ruin our day while we're tethered here is if they physically fly their ship into us to cause us to bump or move through space due to the collision, and then they can move us slowly away from the Fortizar, and at that point, if someone was doing that to you, you just dock up, and you'd be safe. Okay, we'll give it another like 20 seconds, and then they probably have no one coming behind them. Okay, if I could get you to warp yourself to the FTech N gate in front of us and jump through, please, and let us know what's on the other side. So you are now becoming our scout. No, not the industrial ships, just our Merlin, buddy. So press Control Space to cancel.
Okay, I think I got it.
Where's that system? I can't find it, sorry.
So we're tethered right now, and the Stargate's right in front of us. So on your overview, it should be the second start item. It's the Stargate for FTech NMX6.
Oh, sorry.
That's alright. So this is how we're going to get down to the GME pocket from the Beamstar. So we're going to travel into FTech NMX6, and then we're going to take the jump bridge to get one jump away from GME.
Okay, this is just a check, just to see if my mic is working.
It is, but you are using the shout instead of the whisper setup that we talked about earlier. Were you here earlier when we went over the mumble stuff?
I was not there, no.
Okay, it's very, very important that you use your whisper key instead of your shout key, because right now you're talking to everybody in Newbeans, which includes the guys up in NBI Chill, and not just us. So we'll discuss that later, but for now, if you just want to just not talk, I guess, in mumble. Okay, little scout, how does it look on the side of the gate you're on right now?
It's clear.
Okay, everybody align to the Stargate. Oh, you want to get out of there. The enemy fleet's warping in. They're coming back towards the gate. So just go to the Citadel or perch that's right off of the gate from you in FTech N. Okay, guys. Everybody just dock up for a few minutes and we'll do a little bit of just discussion, general questions until these guys are out of the way. I feel like we could have safely gotten past these guys. Okay, there's a friendly fleet warping to the gate now. Everybody align to this FTech N gate. Align, align, align. So this will be our opportunity to safely go. So the interesting thing to remember is once we land on gate, without there being a bubble to stop our warp at any point, we'll be able to be in jump range of that gate immediately and we can be safe. So our scout on the other side, you can just wait for us. So scout on the other side of you undocked, how does it look? Okay, our scout is down. Okay, everybody jump, jump, jump. So usually the practical portion doesn't take this long, but you know, we just had a bit of an upset there. I'd like everybody to right click in space, under corporation locations, jump bridge, warp yourself to the jump bridge, please. Please warp yourself to the jump bridge. So this is the fast way to travel to GME from 7RM.
Are these all new beans you got?
I think everyone's newbies.
I heard one of them ask about Titan.
Much earlier in the class somebody asked about, yeah, if we have a Titan.
How would you guys like a bridge instead of the jump? You wanna indulge them with one? Don't have to. I just offer.
Definitely we can. I do want to show them the jump bridge, but I can just show it to them and then we can come take the Titan because I'm sure you guys would love that, right?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you show them and then I'll join fleet and you can warp to my Titan on the jump or on the Keep Star and I'll
Okay,
bridge you guys.
thanks.
To C4.
Okay.
A little excitement.
Yay.
Okay, I think my mic is set up now.
Yeah, that's whispering, David. Good job.
Oh my god, it's been like I've been trying to do that for a while. Never worked.
Okay, so everybody, we have landed on the jump bridge. You'll see a structure floating in space close to your ship. Then when you hover over it, it's called the jump bridge. Everybody don't take it because we're going to get an awesome Titan bridge for fun. That's great. If you right-click that jump bridge, there'll be an option to jump through to C4C, or if you hold down the default hotkey for jump and click on that object as well, that's how you'd get to C4C quite quickly. Now, if you're in an industrial ship, you reduce your jump fatigue by 90%, which is awesome. So everybody align back towards 7RM. Align, align, align. And again, for our safety, we're not going to warp directly to the gate. Even though there's only one enemy in this system in local, somebody could jump through from the other side of that gate and potentially be a threat to us. Sometimes if you're having issues with the align key, sometimes there'll be an approach instead of align, so you can use approach. It does the same thing as align, and the other option is just double clicking on that object in your overview or in space. Everybody align to the 7RM gate. Align, align, align. So for those of you who are not in an industrial ship, you'll get the full jump fatigue penalty, and then we can compare that against those of us who are in industrial ships.
Warp drive active.
Gate is red. Hold on, gate. Gate is red.
Just one question too.
Yeah.
So the FC can warp us all, but can
Everybody
you
jump.
us?
Everybody jump. No, that is one thing I can't do. Everybody jump.
Alright.
The only thing that I really can do is warping the entire fleet. Okay, you can align yourself to the beam star. And take warp to the beam star.
Active.
Again, if you guys feel like taking screenshots at any point and you press Control F9, that will hide everything for overlay and UI, and then you can just press the print screen button to take screenshots of nice, full, uninterrupted.
Alright, I X'd up the Titan in the fleet.
Okay.
Just ping up and then warp down to me.
Yeah, I warped everyone to the ping above, just to start with. Nope. What the heck? Did you guys warp yourself? Oh,
Yes.
I messed up. Everybody warped me up here. I messed up. I thought I did warp fleet, but I warped myself. So if everyone can see me above the beam star, just warp up there. And then the guy who X'd up in fleet, you can just right click that name and warp to, so you go fleet, warp to member.
Warp drive active.
Just a couple rules for the Titan guys. You want to be within 1,000, but you want to try not to bump a Titan. Titan pilots will get very upset if you bump them in dangerous situations. This isn't one, but just so you're aware.
So the way you do that is you right click on the Titan, the Erebus, once you've landed, and you just go keep at range 1,000.
What happens when you bump the Titan?
You could potentially get him killed if you bumped him, because that will prevent him from being able to navigate the way he wants to.
Oh damn!
You coming, Andrew?
I'm sorry, what? What am I doing?
You want to warp yourself down to the guy who X'd up in fleet chat, the Erebus, down where we are.
Okay.
And then you want to right click, keep it range 1,000.
Okay. Just like yesterday.
So this is a Titan, guys. This is the Galente Titan. What are these things worth? 300 or 500?
No, the Titans are approximately 75 to 80 bill, depending on the market.
Oh, okay.
With outfit.
Oh no, I'm a fitted Erebus for PvP though is how much?
110 usually.
Okay,
Some of them
110 billion.
125. Depends on how low you bling it.
Okay, we have everyone here when you are ready.
What I'm doing, guys, is I'm setting you on a bridge, and basically we have sinos at different places, and we are in range of the C4C. So instead of taking the jump bridge, I'm going to simply connect you to that jump bridge, and then he'll continue it on. And this isn't something we normally do. I just happened to be in the fleet and wanted to offer it because somebody brought up about the Titan, and we like you guys to see stuff like this. Okay, the bridge is up to C4C.
So right click on the Erebus and jump through to C4C the same way you would on that jump bridge we were at. Thank you very much, Fine. Oh,
No
sorry,
problem.
pirate trader.
Pirate trader, yeah. No problem.
Okay, so this is the other side of the jump bridge, everybody. If you look at the top left of your screen, you will see a teal timer. Mine currently says 15 minutes and 13 seconds. If you were not in an industrial ship, it'll say something like about an hour approximately. Let me know how long it is for you.
An hour and 5 minutes for me.
Okay. And when you hover over that teal timer, what is your next jump reactivation timer along the bottom there?
5:52.
Okay, my next jump reactivation timer is 1 minute and 28 seconds. And my orange timer is currently at 40 seconds. How long is your orange timer? How long is your orange timer?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I messed it
okay.
up. 5:30 for the orange one, and
Yep.
6:30 for the next jump reactivation.
Yeah, so you guys can see he wasn't in an industrial ship. It's much, much longer than mine. The other interesting little cheat is that teal or blue timer. When it goes below 10 minutes, you can jump again without suffering an additional penalty. And Kendra already had jump fatigue, so suffered the penalty of stacking jump fatigue, and now has an orange timer of 1 hour and 44 minutes before being able to jump again.
And you don't want to make the mistake of stacking it 3 times, because you could end up with about 3 days.
Everybody align GME? Yes, what's the cap again? Is it 5 days or 4 days is the absolute cap? Or 48 hours?
I thought it was 30 days.
Okay, there's a hard cap though. There's a point. I don't think it goes above 6 days. Or
It's too long.
It's long.
Too long.
It's way too long.
If you jump, it's usually no more than an hour for the long ones. So it's always best to wait that hour before you jump again, if at all possible. Emergency situations will jump a second time, but in any time after that, the FCs will start saying, hey, you know, how's your jump fatigue? Because we don't want to get you in a situation where everybody's got too much and we can't do other operations a few hours later.
So yeah, guys, definitely when you're just making trips between 7RM and GME, try and use an industrial ship whenever possible because it's a big advantage. So if we were going to the GME pocket, we would go to this Raitaru, which is a perch by the GME gate. But right now, we're not going to jump into GME. I want to show you guys how GME pocket is protected. Okay, everybody take this warp.
Warp drive active.
I'm going to have to edit some of this video because it got a little long with having to wait for that enemy fleet. It worked out well. I hope you don't mind your Erebus showing up on the YouTube video that we're going to upload for this class.
No, not at all.
Yeah, because I have been recording this one to throw up. Okay guys, we are warping down towards the LTEC C gate. This is the only way to get into the GME pocket without jump bridges or something like what we just did with the Sino. And if you look at the LTEC C gate in front of you, you can hold down the Alt key and click on it in the overview. And you'll notice that it's got all these glowing bubbles. You can kind of zoom out. Some of those bubbles have been destroyed, I can tell, but it still has some left. And the idea is that when enemies come into our system, they are inside of these bubbles. and they cannot immediately warp out, which gives us a chance to either kill them in the bubbles or gives us more time to set up a defense against them. So this is usually the only way in, and sometimes we have players actively policing and guarding this gate. Okay, everybody align back to GME. So you can do ratting and stuff in C4C if you want. It's only one jump away from GME, which is where most of the players hang out who will defend you against enemy ships. You still might get killed in C4C, because you can get killed anywhere in EVE, period. It's always a risk. Okay, I know it's pretty safe, so I'm just going to warp us straight to the gate.
Warp drive active.
And gate is green, everybody can just jump on land. So again, now we're in the GME pocket. If I was going to stay here and do some stuff, I would want to make sure I join the fleet for GME standing, and again, if you want to join the Mumble as well, you would go to the GME standing main lobby in Mumble, and that will allow you to have the best intel and best protection while doing your activities in the system. Please note that when you're in a ship that's very weak and easy to kill, chances are they won't be able to get to you to protect you before you die, but they definitely will try. Everybody jump. So when I open up the fitting window for my ship and I look at defense category, I have 6,000 EHP, or 6,000 effective hit points. So I will not last very long if an enemy starts shooting at me, especially if he is able to shoot me where I don't have resistances on my shields. Okay, everybody align to this Fortizar, the Hall of Justice. So this is the main station in the GME pocket. It's kind of like the little brother to the Beanstar. This is where you'll find the majority of our market items. And the majority of the contracts can be purchased here as well. So again, you might be able to buy things using the buy all feature or in the market. And a lot of the ships that you'll want to fly, you'll usually buy through the contract. So if you wanted to get a caracal to help defend against an enemy that was coming in, you'd probably go onto the contracts and buy the caracal through the contract. Prices are quite often a little bit more expensive than 7RM, just due to the fact that it's further for people to ship items, but some items are actually cheaper here because they're in higher demand, and also the supply is not as good as 7RM, so you'll find a lot more items that are out of stock in GME compared to 7RM. Again, that's where the shipping and courier services from the forums come into play. If you can go to JITA and buy stuff, and you can get it shipped directly here for you. The only difference is that it takes time rather than being instant. So GME Pocket is a great place to go ratting. There you can rat pretty much anywhere in this pocket from C4C into GME. This also connects to MPPA and 8QMO as systems, and from MPPA, and X5 as well. So there's 4 systems directly connected to GME you can all do ratting in, and then once you go to MPPA, from there you can actually go into another system called iTechUU as well for mining. I think sometimes happens in that system, and also 8QMO is the other main system we use for mining around here, and then any of the systems can be used for ratting. We also have the engineering complexes around here for doing your industry, as well as facilities to help you with your reprocessing, compression, stuff like that. Do note, there are players who offer cheap or even free reprocessing services who have really good skills to turn stuff into minerals. So if you want to reprocess stuff to make minerals on a large scale, I would suggest talking with these people and getting their help if you don't have the maximum skills already. But if it's just a few small items here and there, I would just do it on your own. Okay guys, so that concludes the tour of Horde space that we're doing. Again, the main thing is getting between 7RM and GME quickly, so if you're doing your ratting here in GME, you would have either your medical clone set in 7RM, so you can self-destruct your pod or ask them to blow it up for you to quickly get to 7RM, or you could use your jump clone to jump up there if you wanted to incur that penalty timer and have your medical clone somewhere other than the Beanstar. We went over using tacticals or not warping directly to gates to help you avoid getting caught, as well as using Horde intel channel to help you avoid getting caught. And of course we saw a little bit about how you can actually get somebody to scout for you if there's multiple players moving together. And we talked about taking the jump bridge and using industrial ships to reduce your fatigue. So everybody can dock up. Please dock up in the Fortizar.
Accepted.
Okay, class wrap up and what to do next. So here are a few tips and food for thought. So tip number 1, this is very important, guys. Never ever fly what you can't afford to replace. Also, don't fly what you can't afford to lose. So for example, do not fly a Vexor Navy issue to go ratting unless you have enough IS to buy another one. Almost every single player will get into a ship and lose it very quickly, and then be like, I can't afford another one, because they got into it before they could actually afford it, to replace it. Tip number 2, don't focus on flying big ships just because you think bigger is better. This is actually not true in EVE. EVE has a lot of little things to understand about how ships engage with each other, and how to fly a ship properly, or you will die horribly. If you go into a very expensive ship, maybe a $2 billion ship that's really big and looks really cool, and you take it out and you don't know how to fly it, people will laugh, attack you, and kill you, and you will lose your $2 billion ship. There are ways for smaller ships to take out bigger ships quite effectively, even if those bigger ships know how to fly. Also, one thing I want to mention about being part of Horde and being part of fleets, we are a very large corporation as far as EVE goes, and it kind of can feel a little daunting at times, but you can always be useful in Horde. Never think you can't do anything useful because you're a new player or because you can't fly the ships that the fleet is asking for, because you can always bring something, either whether it be tackle ships, E-war ships, doing scouting. There are a lot of things that new players or low-skill players can do to help assisting and being valuable in fleets. So for example, with a tackle ship, if I have a $2 million tackle ship and we've got this fleet full of, $60 million DPS ships, and you're like, oh, I'm tackle, I can't do anything really useful, those guys have the big guns. Well, if an enemy fleet, we land on them and they start warping off, and you tackle one of their ships and prevent it from warping, and that ship, say, is worth 200 million. Well, suddenly that ship's there for all of our DPS ships to shoot, and they shoot it, they blow it up, and they killed this ship that's 200 million. If it wasn't for your little $2 million tackle ship keeping it from warping off, those $70 million DPS ships would have been useless and not gotten anything. So you can always be useful, just set your mind to it. Again, if you want to look for more information, we've got a couple resources within Horde Square. You can go to the Help and then References section. Please note this is a bit of a laggy page and it will take a long time to load, but it's got a lot of useful information there. Also, very, very good wiki is EVE University, and you'll find a lot of valuable information on there as well. Here's a little quote in the top right. I don't know if you guys have been reading my little snippets in the top right. I just added them for fun. This one is, a guy says, man, I just got that ship, because he got blown up by another player. So the player replied, I just got that ammo, you don't see me complaining. Okay, what to do next, guys? Say you want to make ISK. Well, there's quite a few things that you can do to make ISK, but here are 3 big main areas that people choose to do in Horde space. So you have your ratting, which a lot of you probably already know. This is where you go kill NPC enemies called rats, and you collect money from their bounty. You can also loot them and salvage them as well. Some players will choose to loot and salvage without doing any ratting, and they'll just wait for other players who don't want to salvage or loot their own wrecks to type into a standing fleet chat that they have salvage available. Also, you have the option to do mining and pew those lasers and just be AFK or whatever miners do. I wouldn't know. So what to do next? So it's really up to you. Mining, ratting, industry, fleets, solo and small gang PvP, planetary interaction, exploration. Just keep in mind that activities outside of player versus player content are harder to get help from other players in Horde. There are players who do a bit of everything, so you'll usually be able to find somebody to help you with something at some point, but if it's not PvP related, it may take a while to find somebody to give you advice or expertise. In the future, you might want to start planning towards joining the Capital Group, Horde Vanguard, maybe create or join a shipping service, or maybe even moving on to a different corporation. Either way, fly safe.